And now back to Bobby Likis, your host, Bobby Likis.
Good morning, Car Clinic affiliates. Your Car Clinic minutes for the week of November 17th, 2014 are about to head your way, so go ahead and press that record button. As always, thank you for listening to and broadcasting Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Have a great weekend.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Trolls charge them to cross bridges. Banks levy them to use ATMs. But I know an automotive fee that's next best to free and good for the environment. When I come back, I'll tell you all about it. Have you noticed how some spray lubes have to be reapplied and well, you get the idea. But Royal Purple's Max Film lives up to its name. With Max Film, you get lubrication that lasts. Max Film penetrates deeply and cleans parts. Then Max Film leaves an ultra-tough lubricating film for ultra-smooth operation. Go to protectparts.com for more information today. Believe it or not, there's a fee that keeps two things green: your wallet and the environment. When purchasing a new battery for your vehicle, a core charge levied by the government is collected by retailers. So where's the good news? Trade in your old battery and the fee's waived. Or if you forget to bring it with you, just return it later and the core charge will be cheerfully refunded. An environmental bonus: used batteries kept out of landfills are collected from retailers and recycled. Like us, you'll love us. Brought to you by Royal Purple Synthetic Oil, the performance oil that outperforms. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Minute. Igpay Atenlay is a dialect designed to confuse. But if Pig Latin is easier to understand than the language spoken when buying a used car, I'll help translate the double talk when we come back. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. Common myth: ethanol ruins engines. Fact is quite the opposite. Virtually every engine maker provides warranty coverage for E10 ethanol blends. Yes, since ethanol's intro as a fuel source in the late 70s, auto manufacturers have continuously upgraded fuel system components so that today they are all compatible with ethanol fuels. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. Drive to ethanolrfa.org. Need a quick course in Greek to buy a used car? Don't be confused, because I'm going to translate for you. Program vehicles are those that were allotted by car manufacturers to their executives. Off-lease vehicles are offered by dealers at the expiration of a lease. And pre-owned or used vehicles are simply those that are traded in. One more translation: here's how you seal. Pre-purchase inspection. Have your technician give your prospective vehicle a thorough check before you sign on the dotted line. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. The beauty of winter. Freshly fallen snow, horse-drawn sleighs, rosy-cheeked children, carbon monoxide, and winter? Not a pretty picture. But when I come back, I'll tell you all about it. Many oil filters use cheap paper filtration that fails after only a few thousand miles. That's why Royal Purple developed its new extended life oil filter. Royal Purple uses unique microglass filtration that removes 99.9% of harmful contaminants and provides extended protection. Royal Purple filters are available online and by special order at quality auto parts stores. Go to royalpurple.com for details. Royal Purple, the performance oil and filters that outperform. Carbon monoxide can be an unwelcomed and deadly guest on holiday trips, and damaged exhaust systems can route this poison right to your car's passenger cabin. During winter, you're likely to drive with windows rolled up, trapping lethal carbon monoxide fumes inside. Because this gas is colorless and odorless, victims are unaware they're being poisoned until it's too late. So if your exhaust is hissing, take your car in immediately. But make sure carbon monoxide doesn't hitch a holiday ride by having your system checked before there's a problem. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Brought to you by Royal Purple Synthetic Oil, the performance oil that outperforms. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. Wearing faux fur, surfing the net, and flying the flag. Behaviors that are all the rage. But if your driving's in that rage category, kick it to the curb. I'll tell you why when we come back. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. American ethanol producers are fully engaged in the race to the next generation. Since the ethanol molecule is identical across sourcing types, many existing ethanol refineries are exploring bolt-on technologies that will enable production of ethanol from both grain starch and cellulosic material at the same facility. I'm Bobby Likis with 20 facts about ethanol, brought to you by the Renewable Fuels Association. Aggressive drivings, one outrageous, make that road-rageous behaviors that can destroy property and cost lives. And if you thought road rage only happens in big cities in the Northeast or California, listen to this. According to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, the 5 states with highest aggressive driving rates are South Carolina, Wyoming, Alabama, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Urban or rural, you can control road rage by honoring one road rule. The golden rule, that is. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. When you hear smooth sailing, you feel ocean breezes, see palm trees, and taste coconut rum. The picture of summer, right? Maybe, but old man Winter's got another version. When I come back, I'll tell you.
Companies choose Royal Purple lubricants to protect and improve the performance of their multi-million-dollar equipment. The same high-performance technology also available for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Royal Purple enhances performance and provides superior protection for anything wrapped in metal. Royal Purple is the performance oil that outperforms. For independent tests and endorsements that document Royal Purple benefits, go to royalpurple.com. That's royalpurple.com.
Summer sailing's on water, but winter's version's on ice. You know the feeling. The rubber's on the road where it belongs, and suddenly your south has headed north. Ice sailing. Here's what to do. Take your foot off the gas and put your hands on the steering wheel at 9 and 3 o'clock. Gradually apply brakes and turn the wheel in the direction of the slide. And next time you head through the Crystal City, slow down. It takes 4 to 10 times as long to stop on ice. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Brought to you by Royal Purple Synthetic Oil, the performance oil that outperforms.
In a movie, you have one chance to make something happen and to happen right. Bring it bigger, better than it's been seen before. I've been a working stuntman for 25 years now. Definitely not about glory or showing off. It's about making the impossible possible. I'm third generation in the business. Started with my grandfather, then my dad got involved in it. I've been in 115 movies. Period movies are awesome. Last of the Mohicans was a great adventure with my family, with my dad and brothers. There's those crazy-ass blockbusters that everybody loves to be on, where it's just over the top, to the moon, you know, bigger than life. Funnest movies, for sure, would be Waterworld. 50 of my best stunt buddies in Hawaii, wrecking stuff every day on the water. Obviously, car work is the ultimate. The whole goal with Need for Speed was to go as fast as we can. On the movie set, there's generally probably 150 to 200 people that are your working crew. You got to manage where everybody's at all times. Making sure we have communications dialed in between our assistant director, our players, our stunt personnel that are working around.
What do we need to do to extend this to its...
On Need for Speed, there was a huge car crash that we were going to do that was, kind of a turning point in the movie. Something that, you need to be going 200 miles an hour to do for real. Our director wanted to, obviously he wanted everything to be done practical, but he felt that the look of this particular wreck that he could do might have to happen in a CG environment. Came up with an idea of pushing the vehicle sideways, profile, and hitting these huge pipe ramps. We can do this for real. He kind of said, really? All right, well, show me. I then, as the coordinator, said, okay, let's do this. I know we can do it. I know it's totally possible. Your raw skill is, but at a certain point, you're going to need that extra moment of practice to pull you through it consistently.
Okay, let's go ahead and start pulling this back, please. All right, Troy, here we go. I'm going to start pushing.
So you set?
Yeah, action, Troy.
I had all the confidence in the world. The director had all the confidence in the world, and we came in and we nailed it. It was awesome. Lance Gilbert, stunt coordinator, action designer.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1 minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And thank you, Marty White. Also, we've opened another bank of phones for our special guest in the house today, 888 Car Clinic. That's 888-227-2546. This segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you by Power Frame Grid Technology. Folks, batteries may all look the same from the outside, but it's what's inside that really matters. So when you buy your next battery, you get a battery with a technology that's stronger and more dependable. Look for the Power Frame logo. Learn more at powerframe.com. Power Frame, a Johnson Controls brand and a brand of battery that we use in our service shop. And speaking of our service shop, we also, if you're a regular listener and viewer of Bobby Likis Car Clinic, know we use, promote, and endorse Royal Purple products. And to that end, today, we have in the house Butch Cox, Vice President of Royal Purple. Also, we have Chris Barker, Technical Services Manager with Royal Purple. And a little later on, Leah Harrington is going to be joining us. We've got a full house. I invite your calls, 888 Car Clinic. If you have an oil question, a car question, a question about your cooling system, or just about anything automotive, as it were, I'm your man, Butch is your man, and so is Chris. So it's Bobby, Butch, and Chris for you this hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. 888-227-2546. We're going to come back. We'll open the phones, take your calls. And for those of you that watch Bobby Live, a special hello from everyone here from the center of the automotive universe. Bobby Likis Car Clinic. We'll be back.
Fortune 500 companies choose Royal Purple lubricants to protect and improve the performance of their multi-million-dollar equipment. The same high-performance technology is also available for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Royal Purple enhances performance and provides superior protection for anything wrapped in metal. Royal Purple is the performance oil that outperforms. For independent tests and endorsements that document Royal Purple benefits, go to royalpurple.com. That's royalpurple.com.
How can you improve battery performance? Power Frame Grid Technology, a more advanced kind of positive grid technology designed to combat the common causes of premature battery failure. Power Frame Grid Technology is formed from a single sheet of precisely rolled and stamped metal. This patented manufacturing process makes the battery more resistant to corrosion. Look for the Power Frame logo on the outside of your next battery. It means true strength on the inside. Visit powerframe.com to find a retailer near you.
O'Reilly. Sign up to become an O'Reilly O Rewards member today and start earning instantly. Members earn $5 back for every $150 they spend, so if you haven't become a member yet, what are you waiting for? It's fast, easy, and free. O Rewards, it's your road to exclusive offers only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Bobby Likis with today's Drive Smarter tip, brought to you by Escort, the world's best radar and laser detectors. Running red lights is the cause of more injuries than any other crash type. Protect yourself from those red light runners by looking to the left, then to the right, and then for turning before you enter traffic light controlled intersections. Visit escortradar.com to learn about the all-new Passport and Passport Max 2, both featuring built-in Bluetooth connectivity. Don't just drive, drive smarter. Escort.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Where are you going?
Kill the weeds.
Whoa, don't kill the grass. last time.
Hey, wise men make mistakes. They just don't make them twice.
What's different this time?
This time, I've got Ortho Weed Begone Max. It kills weeds down to the root, but unlike other products, it doesn't kill the grass.
Ooh, so impressive.
Well, I've done it the wrong way, so I figured I might as well try it the right way.
I'm all for that.
Kill the weeds, not the grass. Get Ortho Weed Begone Max and defend what's yours.
It straddles the line between timeless classic and modern luxury.
The grape tomato.
The ruby red in a sea of greens. The muse behind the great chef, Boyardee.
Beefaroni. Amore.
Oh, tomato. Are you fruit? Are you vegetable?
What is identity?
Groceries, essentials, signature value.
The Everyday Collection by Target.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And let's get started with this hour. I would encourage you to call in early so that you can get your question on the air. And for those of you who are familiar with the Royal Purple brand, you know that I may brag a lot, but I walk the walk, talk the talk, as do the gentlemen that are with me. And Butch Cox is a vice president, and not only vice president of Royal Purple, Calumet, the oil people, but you're also a car guy. And Butch, I want to welcome you into the studio. This is your first appearance from the center of the automotive universe.
Yeah, thanks, Bobby. I really appreciate you having us here, and frankly, our relationship with you and your team is just amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It is indeed long-standing, as it were, as well. And Chris, this is not your first merry-go-round. You've been right here with me before.
Oh, yes, sir. It's third time.
Third time. So Chris Barker is the Technical Services Director. And for all of you folks who really want to know what that means, he knows what's in the little molecules of oil and the spheres of oil and those things. So we promise not to get technical today. Well, we almost promised that.
We'll stay away from the chemistry, but we'll talk about the technical
Okay,
aspects.
I want to go right to the phones. Don, let's take Don from California, 06 Mini Cooper S. Oh, supercharged. Don, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you, Bobby.
So, did you have a question for us today?
Well, actually, I had more of a comment. I wanted to share my experience with Purple Synchromax product. I have my 06 Mini Cooper S, and it's a standard 6-speed transmission, and I've had it for about 8 years now. And it's a great car. I really, really enjoy it. And I always thought, the shifting was fine, and everything did everything. Well, part of routine maintenance, I switched over the transmission fluid to the Royal Purple Synchromax. And I tell you, it just made a huge difference in the shifting in my car. It's unbelievable. I would never think that a fluid would do that, but it's just so much smoother, quieter. It's just absolutely amazing. I never would have believed it unless it happened to me.
And Don, how many miles on the car, and who does the work on the car? Has it been a good car for you?
Oh, it's been an outstanding car. It's got 63,000 miles on it. I do all my own maintenance. Well, everything that I can do in my garage at home. If there's anything bigger, I usually take it somewhere else. But I do all the fluid change, all the maintenance, all the stuff like that. And I like to think I take pretty good care of my car, and I'm fairly knowledgeable about, car care and car products. But again, like I said, I've been working on cars for 25 years. I've never put an oil product in my car that made that much of a difference.
Well, that's music to my ears, and I concur. 10 years ago, I bought an 01 Viper, and the only thing that I didn't like about the car, and I've talked with this, Chris, you and I have talked about this before, was the notchiness of the transmission. And I too, and I tried three different chemical additives to that transmission because it was a brand new car. And I had aggravated the situation because I shortened the gear shift, because that's what you do with a Viper.
Sure.
And sure enough, I changed it from its original lubricant to the Royal Purple Synchromax, and it made a drastic difference. And without exception, every time we do that, and I encourage that because, like you said, Don, it's not often that you can change a fluid and feel some difference. I mean, you don't know if the engine has Royal Purple oil in it. You really don't know. But I thank you so much for calling in. And with the Mini Cooper S, just as an F, make sure that you keep the belt tight and keep a check on oil leaks. And Mini Cooper has had some timing chain issues, so just as we're going forward, make sure that you do that and check those things. And I really appreciate your call. We appreciate your call.
I certainly will, and thank you. I sure appreciate you. I hate to sound like an infomercial, but people really need to give it a try. It's great stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
It is. That's great. 888-227-2546. Chris, what is it in Synchromax, just the 30,000-foot view, that makes that such a drastic difference in the meshing of gears in a transmission?
Well, primarily it's going to be due to our proprietary Centerlick additive technology. But we also start with the best raw materials that are available in the industry, and on top of that, we add our own proprietary stuff that nobody else has. So with Synchromax, you have a nice light fluid, which typically lightens shifting to a certain extent, but you're not giving up any wear protection whatsoever because of our formulation and our additive technology.
And Butch, from a bumper to bumper, let's just quickly give an overview. I know we have Royal Purple oil for the engine. I know we have Synchromax for standard transmissions and also automatic transmission fluids. What other fluids are offered by Royal Purple?
Well, you've got our Max gear with SynSlide technology for differentials. We use those products extensively. In fact, some of the fastest cars in the world at Bonneville are using that off-the-shelf product to keep from having plasticizing of the gears at 400 plus miles an hour. And we're excited about that because we're all enthusiasts. Everybody at Royal Purple, from our R&D department, we've been blessed with an amazing talent pool. And again, if we can't make the absolute highest quality product in a category, we won't put it on the shelf.
So we've got engine oil, transmission oil, differential, of course, gear oil, and I'm not sure I know what plasticizing.
Where the gears actually start to melt.
Oh. You mean that much heat is generated?
Yeah, at 400 plus miles an hour, ring gear and pinion is stress, and I know Chris sees some of those in industrial applications as well, extremely high load. The other thing I would add to that is our Max Boost, an octane booster that we came out with that I did some testing with some turbo cars that I own, and I know you've been impressed with those products.
I have been, yes.
Our Max Tane diesel fuel additive, which really helps with fuel problems up in the north right now. I know they're going through an early winter, let's say, and again with diesel vehicles, Max Tane is a huge help. Max Clean, again, for passenger cars, especially if you've got something that like us, we're enthusiasts. We have cars that are not driven every day, so it helps with ethanol problems in the fuel, and the list goes on and on. We've got fuel system additives, coolant additives, and again, Bobby, if we can't make the highest quality product on the shelf, we won't put it out there.
And I want to go through those a little bit later, but I'd like to take a call from Pat, and you talked about cold weather. Pat, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. And folks, if you'd like to get in, 888-227-2546, 888 Car Clinic. Pat, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bobby. It's nice to talk to you. I just want to make a comment first about your first caller. It's interesting what he had to say about the transmission product. I'm calling about the oil. But it's nice to hear someone speak about another product so highly. It tends to validate the product line in my eye. So my question is about the oil.
Okay.
I've been around vehicles for a long, long time, watched oil change over the years drastically, and I'm just now getting interested in synthetic oil like Royal Purple. My question is, what about the frequency of oil changes with Royal Purple?
Bobby, can I jump in here?
Absolutely.
All right. There's a couple of particulars. Depends on the application and how it's used, but typically for a street-driven vehicle that's mostly stock and used as intended, I'm not talking about a sand rail or something that's tracked frequently, but we recommend up to 12,000 miles or 12 months for most applications. If it's a higher mileage application and you've been using even quality conventional oil, you might have some built-up deposits that need to be removed. Our oil is going to help do that. We typically don't recommend flushes unless it's just absolutely filthy. But with Royal Purple synthetic oils, for the first couple of oil changes, if you have a higher mileage vehicle that was fed a steady diet of conventional oil, we recommend keeping it close to what the factory recommendation is. If it's a vehicle built in the last 20 years, that's typically going to be between 4,000 and 6,000 miles for oil and filter. And then on that second or third change, then you can go ahead and extend it out. If you use our Royal Purple filter, it's also good for the life of the oil. If you use any other high-quality filter, that's fine, but we do recommend at least one oil filter change and top-off during that long interval.
I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what we practice at Bobby Likis Car Connect Service Pre-Repair. We have the top-off, and you know that. We've talked about that. So Pat, to add to what Chris said, for me, the answer would be it depends. It depends on how many miles you drive a year and how often you drive that vehicle. But the interval and Royal Purple, go to royalpurpleconsumer.com, and you'll see that there's a 12,000-mile one-year pledge, Butch, that's been posted, and that pledge will not only validate the oil, but that pledge will tell you and show you and give you more information. And there are videos on site, there are testimonials on site, and then there are a list of products. And more importantly, Pat, you can go to where to find the product, and you can find a store like O'Reilly Auto Parts, Pep Boys, Walmart,
Advance Auto Parts,
Parts. So they're AutoZone. So it's really great to see that the availability of Royal Purple has expanded from the 10 years that we started. We had 500 vendors.
We're almost 30,000 auto parts selling the products at this time.
I don't think you'll have a problem finding it, Pat. Pat, thank you so much for your call. We'll take another call, but we'll do that after the break, because I'm going to come back. 888-227-2546 if you have a question about oil, about antifreeze, about coolant, about the new Royal Flush when we come back. I'm Bobby Likis. Don't touch that dial.
My car's a sauna. What's with this air conditioning?
You need an AC Pro.
Know any?
Yeah, you.
He uses somebody else.
You're a pro with new do-it-yourself AC Pro, the 10-minute cold air solution.
But
You know where to find the hood?
That thing up front?
Exactly. AC Pro's easy, fast, and saves you money. You'll have your car's AC blowing cold air in minutes.
I did it! It's like a freezer in here.
Be a pro with new AC Pro, the 10-minute cold air solution.
Got a sweater?
This Tire Maintenance Minute is brought to you by General Tire, anywhere as possible with a grabber line of light truck tires, born from competition. Abraham Lincoln, not just our 16th president, but also an industry standard for measuring tire tread depth. Insert a penny, Abe's head first, into the lowest point of the tire tread, and if the top of his head disappears, your tread's okay. But tread depth isn't the only component for tire safety. Tire age also counts. The Rolling Stones might but time is not on your tire's side as rubber compounds in a tire deteriorate. Cracks develop, which can cause steel belts in the tread to separate from the rest of the tire, compromising drivability and safety. Advice is to consult your local tire professional on when to replace old tires. GeneralTire.com to learn more about the Grabber line of light truck tires. Anywhere is possible with Grabber. For more, visit GeneralTire.com.
O'Reilly.
If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing and grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like BrakeBest Select, and Wagner Thermo Quiet at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brake parts from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Hi, Tom Bodette talking to you on a cell phone to demonstrate how easy it is to make reservations in Motel 6 when you're on the road. Uh-oh, I'm just about to head into a tunnel. Anyway, just call 1-800-4-MOTEL-6. Clean, comfortable room. Lowest price of any national chain. Oh, sorry, this stupid phone's cutting out on me. Man, I hate these things. Call you back. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you. And a Core Hotel.
Is Romeo and Juliet, brought to you by Geico Auto Insurance.
I love you, Romeo.
I love you, Juliet.
Too bad our families hate each other.
Yeah.
How is Geico able to guarantee my claim repairs and still save me money?
Don't know.
I love you anyway.
All right, then.
We can guarantee claim repairs for as long as you own your car, and you could save 15% on car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO.
Now back to our clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And thank you for tuning in today. And for those of you Bobby Live, a special hello and welcome. And I'd like if you have an opportunity to reach out and welcome our guest, Butch Cox from Royal Purple, and also Chris Barker, our friends and their partner sponsors. But the relationship that we've enjoyed goes a lot deeper than just simply oil. It goes so deeply, and I'm trying to get my microphone. It's strange to have three of us in the. I usually have this by myself, so it's great to have Chris, you, and Butch, you in the house today. Before we get started and the phones are lit up, let me give you the number to dial. 888-227-2546. I want to reach out to WNDB 1150 AM in Daytona Beach, Florida, currently simulcasting this program with their new station, WNDB 93.5 FM. And Mike Multane, he's known as Mad Dog. And there's a story behind that I won't go into, but I will say this. Of the stations that we have across the nation, in addition to our other platforms and digital platforms, WNDB was one of the first four that we had 23 years today and continues today, and they've just added an FM station there. And I reach out and a shout out to all you folks in Daytona Beach and Ormond Beach. And by the way, Henry Ford raced on Ormond Beach many years ago. And Dave Lang is a program director there, so a shout out to Mike Multane, Mad Dog, and Dave Lane as well. This segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you by General Tire and the new G-Max AS03, the ultra high performance all season tire. For more information, visit generaltire.com. And General Tire has the neatest, and I want to share this with you, Butch, because I know you're a car guy, and Chris, you as well. In the center tread of the tire, it says tire monitor. Tire replacement monitor. And that's etched into the center tread. And the word replacement and the word replacement, yes, is etched in different depths. So the munt in replacement is shallower. And when the tire wears down, it says replace tire.
Very nice.
It is brilliant. It is brilliant, and hats off to General Tire for doing a whale of a job. And folks, you have a chance, go to generaltire.com. We were talking, and I want to go to Kelly, who has a CLA Mercedes, which, by the way, is one of my favorite new cars, Mercedes first front-wheel drive. But before we do that, well, let's bring Kelly in. Kelly, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thank you for holding.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I think perhaps my question might have been answered by your two previous callers, but I'd like to get a further confirmation. I do have cited a brand new Mercedes CLA, and I absolutely love it. And I want to make sure that I do everything possible I can to maintain it. And I have a very simple question is, can I use Royal Purple in my car, and when should I change the oil? And I know that you've previously answered those two questions with the other gentleman, but I would just like some confirmation. And I do drive it daily. It's my daily driver, and I'm in sales, so I put quite a few miles on it. So I want to make sure I'm doing everything I can to keep up with the maintenance.
Butch, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of great choices for your CLA. For a car like yours, Mercedes typically the engines carry a lot of oil, so they come with a long interval as recommended in the owner's manual. I don't think they've crested 10,000 miles yet, so we would still recommend up to that 12,000 miles, or in this case the OEM recommendation, whichever is longer as far as functionality goes. It's perfectly safe. It's a little bit more economical. But with a car that's one model year old, you do need to be concerned with your warranty compliance. If you are still under OEM warranty, you really need to follow the maintenance guidelines in the manual, because neither Mercedes or any other OEM cares what we say about when changing your oil. So, I mean, functionally, no harm at all. It's going to work great up to that 12,000 or 12 months, and with as much driving as you do, I mean, that's actually ideal for oil life and as well as engine reliability. But as far as the dealership is concerned, the owner's manual should be the Bible, and that's what you're going to have to follow until OEM warranty is up.
Kelly, and I'd like to jump in here too. We do a lot of trade shows manufacturer shows with like O'Reilly Auto Parts and Napa Auto Parts, and they have a lot of outside salespeople, just awesome guys, and they, like yourself, they travel sometimes 40 to 60,000 miles a year in town, and I would say a good portion of those salespeople are using our product because they've determined that in many cases they can go beyond that 12,000 mile mark by using sampling. Most of those companies sell an oil analysis kit like you would use in a larger diesel fleet, and they're actually testing their own vehicles just so they understand what's going on with the oil. And a lot of these salesmen, because they do put so many miles on the vehicle, are able to go as many as 20,000 miles, but they're using that sampling to determine when the oil needs to be replaced.
And I would like to add, Kelly, one final, because I drive a new car, a 13 model automobile that called for its first oil change in 12 months. I took delivery of the car in November, and it was the following October before it was officially ready for its oil change. But I just couldn't go that long on the original factory fill. So, Kelly, I changed the oil in my car at 6,400 miles. And the reason it was 6,400 is because there was a recall on the navigation system. So I had to take it to the dealer for the recall on the nav system, and I took Royal Purple oil with me and changed the oil. And the gentleman told me, and Kelly, you may find this to be, and it's okay, but I just wanted you to know this so that you will know what to say, and do it in your nice, friendly way. You can take your oil. The bottom line is Royal Purple is certified for use in your CLA Mercedes, as it is in all automobiles manufactured, domestic or foreign. That's correct, right?
We do have a couple of Euro spec formulations that would work great and should meet minimum warranty compliance as far as that goes. Always double check with the owner's manual. Sometimes you get some conflicting information from a dealer or service shop. Owner's manual is the Bible, and if you ever have any questions, you can always call us. We're available Monday through Friday.
That's what I love about this company. They are available, and Chris takes calls. So again, I would hesitate to go a year or 12,000 miles with a factory fill of that vehicle, and here's why. Even if the oil could last 12,000 miles safely and never give problems, there are things under the car, and tire pressure and alignment and bolts and nuts that need to be checked. So changes are not simply oil changes. There should be inspections on the car. And one final question for you, Kelly. What color is the car?
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful mountain gray.
Wow.
Love it.
That's the same color of your new car.
Thank you. Well, no, mine's cashmere. Kelly, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your call. Thanks for tuning in. How cool is this? Let's go to Texas and take a call from Jimmy. And folks, if you'd like to get in, now's the time. 888 Car Clinic, 888-227-2546. I'm here with Butch and Chris, the Royal Purple gang. Jimmy, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Hey, Bobby, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, I got a question for, I've been wanting to switch to synthetic oil for a little while now, but I drive a Dodge Challenger 5.7 Hemi. It's a 2010, and I only got like 35,000 miles on it, but I've been wanting to switch. And when I make a switch, do I use the same weight oil?
Yes, sir. We recommend staying with the factory recommended viscosity grade unless something of significance has changed with either the way the vehicle is used or how it's built. If you took this Challenger and you drove it for a couple of years as a street car, but you decided, you know what, I'm going to double the output of the engine, or I'm just going to track the snot out of it, and maybe we make some recommended changes based on how you use it. But if it's pretty close to factory stock and you use it as intended, basically keep it a street car, we recommend staying with the factory recommended viscosity. So in this case, it's going to be a 5W20.
And Butch, I think.
Yeah, and Jimmy, I'd like to add it to that. 10 years ago when selling Royal Purple, it was about 5-to-1 over conventional motor oils as far as cost. Today, that number's dropped all the way down to about 2-to-1. So, even though synthetic oils are more expensive and a product like Royal Purple carries a premium price, it's actually a better value today than years ago. And when you add in the fuel savings that you can get from using the product, it really pays you to move up to a premium product. The other thing I would add is that motor oil is absolutely the most inexpensive thing that's in that motor.
No question.
So, a great car, by the way. I truly love them.
What, the Hemi?
Yeah. The Challenger for sure. It's beautiful car.
And the new there's a new one. Jimmy, thank you so much for your call.
You're welcome.
The new Challenger, actually, it's a Charger SRT. It's America's most powerful. No, it's the world's most powerful 707 horsepower four-door. I mean, go figure. Four-door sedan in the world, and 707 horsepower, and it comes with a black key fob and a red key fob.
Right.
So if you drove it, if it were my car and you drove it, I'd give you the black key fob, and you said, no, Bobby, I'm taking a red one, because a red one unleashes all 707 horsepower.
Exactly.
And it's a whale of a car. It's just unbelievable. I see we have other calls, and folks, here's what I would like to do. Because we have a hard break coming up, I'd like for you, if you would please, to stay tuned with us. And those of you who have additional questions, 888-CAR Clinic, 888-227-2546. Max Clean, you mentioned Butch Max Clean, and you mentioned Max Tane and the Boost. The Max Boost is an octane booster for gasoline.
Yes, sir.
The Max cetane booster for diesel. And folks, what's really interesting about this is you want a high octane in gasoline. So you want to slow down the burning because you've got a high compression engine. Now, that's not true with diesel. You want it to go the other way, light off more quickly, especially with cold weather coming up. So that's what the cetane enhancement of Maxtane provides. Is that correct, Chris?
That's correct. And you want to make sure that you don't mix these products up, because the last thing you want to do in your gasoline car is increase the propensity for it to ignite on its own.
Right.
And you really don't want to slow down that reaction with an octane booster in a diesel.
Leah Harrington is the vice president of Calumet, the parent company for Royal Purple. And we're going to ask her to come into the studio, and we're going to share with you some information. We're going to still take your calls. Let's share information about an upcoming bowl game. Speaking of bowl games and ball games, I don't know who your favorite is. We're going to come back from the break, and we're going to take a call from Captain Jim and from Eric. And I see John from Kansas has a Kenworth. Now, that's going to be interesting. That one I'll defer to you gentlemen. I don't know a lot about Kenworths, except that they're big trucks.
Exactly.
And I invite you to call. Leah Harrington has an interesting background and brings a different perspective. And so for you women out there and ladies and car owners, you should call in and talk about your automobile, because when we come back from the break, she's going to be in the studio with us. I'm Bobby Likis here with the Royal Purple Game. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Fact or Friction. Brought to you by Royal Purple, the performance lubricants that outperform. Fact or friction? Oil choice in winter isn't all that important. Friction. An oil's cold cranking viscosity is critical to engine lubrication at first start. Conventional oil made from crude-based stock is naturally comprised of different molecules, which are pumped from the crankcase and flow to the engine at different rates. Conversely, the molecules of synthetic oil are engineered to be the same size, which means they flow at a consistent rate for optimum pumpability and flowability, especially important for getting critical lubrications quickly to the engine in frigid temps. When choosing oil for your vehicle, consider Royal Purple High Performance Motor Oil. Visit RoyalPurple.com and pick up Royal Purple High Performance Motor Oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
I'm your blind spot. My job is easy. Hide big things.
You're good.
And if you named your own price on car insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Dollar for dollar. Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate agents.
P. Ricey Outfitters, I'm Tina. How can I help you?
It's an order?
Great. Which item?
The cotton roll neck sweater, large.
Okay. Periwinkle loaded or caramel?
The caramel, please.
The what?
I'd like it in caramel.
Oh, the caramel.
Yeah, that's what I said, Tina.
Actually, you said caramel when it's pronounced caramel.
Can't we just call it yellow?
No.
Everyone knows the best part of a Milky Way. They just don't know how to say it. After all, it's our caramel.
It's caramel.
Makes a Milky Way great.
If you're familiar with the cultivated section of the newspaper, you probably understand this message quite well. You see, in the cultivated section, everything gets abbreviated. Consonants, vowels, prepositional phrases, building blocks of our language are thrown right out the window. And that makes it difficult when you're trying to sell your car. You've got a limited amount of space to work with, and by the time you abbreviate the description of your car down to a couple of fragmented sentences, it sounds less like a car and more like a Bluck sedan with sniffed like new condition limos. No wonder more people are selling their cars through eBay Motors. They can post unlimited text and photo descriptions, and with a nationwide marketplace, they're likely to sell it for more. Plus, both parties eBay's vehicle protection program. Buyers are happy, sellers are happy, and no one's abbreviating. eBay Motors, a better way to sell your car.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for our callers, I appreciate your patience, and we're going to come to you quickly. Leah Harrington, the Vice President of Calumet and Royal Purple. The Calumet's the parent company of Royal Purple. But I think what's important for folks to know, and Leah, welcome to the center of the automotive universe.
Oh, thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
You should be. It's really, I don't know that I've had, how long it's been since I've had three of us in the booth here, but it's a lot of fun. And the information that I want to share with our callers and with our viewers is just essential, because they save money, their cars last longer, from bumper to bumper, and with the cost of cars, and with cars being 11.2 years average age today, there's some other products that Royal Purple has, like the HMX. I want to get into that, but first, what I'd like to do, I'm going to take Eric's call. But Eric, if you would mind just holding another 2 minutes, there's a Facebook question that we have, and this is from Jimmy M., and he asks, Bobby, I've been using 530 Valvoline Max Life GMC 305 V8 with 235,000 miles, Chris, on it, and had no problems. Is it worth switching, or shall I stay with what I have?
All right, well, there's two things you can, or two ways you can think about this. There is the, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Valvoline Max Life is a very good oil, and if you're not having problems, which I wouldn't expect you to, there's no, I don't know, incredibly compelling reason to change. But there's also another way to think about it. If this is a vehicle that you really like and you want to get absolutely the most amount of use out of, using a better product is always a good idea. If this is something that's just kind of hanging on and you're waiting for it to die, certainly don't spend the extra money, because its life is limited. But if you're going to try to get another 150,000 miles of it, which is certainly possible, then using a better product along with good maintenance is always a good idea.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm sure he does. Now, we've got to go to Eric. And Eric, thank you so much for holding. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Good morning, Bobby. How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you. Thanks for calling. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I have a question. I've been looking in some of the parts stores and looking around on the internet, even for that matter, and I've noticed that Royal Purple now has what they call a purple ice.
Yes.
And I'm familiar with the the water wetter, but are they the same? What's different about the purple ice?
Well, I'm going to jump in here real quick, because we've actually, water wetter is kind of the Kleenex or the Q-tip of that type of product. These are products that are designed to increase the heat transfer capability of the coolant system. So in that respect, they're the same, but the formulations are completely different. Water wetter was great in its day, but we do have some more advanced technology that does provide better corrosion protection and better protection against foaming in the cooling system, along with the increase in heat transfer. So while Purple Ice is in the same category as the water wetter, we are a product that offers more benefits and better performance, and benefits that happen to be in common between the two.
And Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a recent comparison test between the #1 brand, which was the water wetter brand, and Royal Purple?
Absolutely. We've got that information posted on our website. I can't quote numbers for you right now, But with respect to the corrosion protection and the foaming protection that I mentioned, we were better, and we had as good or better heat transfer increase in the cooling system.
And Eric, I personally tested those products, and the simplest of the 3 tests that I performed was to simply take the bottle, half a bottle of each in its raw form, and shake it. And by reducing the surface tension in water, like a hood, if you wax a hood and then you put water on it, wherever there's beads and there's water, but wherever there's no beads, it's dry. Same thing is true inside the radiator. So you want all of the interior of the radiator to be bead free. So if you shake each one of those products, find that the foaming, the anti-foaming, whatever that is, that stuff is that you put in there, stops that foaming, and that means less corrosion, more cooling transfer to heat. Eric, thank you so much. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yeah, I was just curious. I'm coming from a different slant, too. I run a farm here in Suffolk, Virginia, and I got, personal vehicles, farm vehicles, but I have real expensive farm equipment. So, so what you're telling me, how about the mix ratio on this? Is that affected anywhere, Chris, or, do it 50-50, 30-70?
No, I mean, as far as purple ice in your coolant, one thing to understand that purple ice is not an antifreeze. It does not materially affect the freezing or boiling point of your coolant. If you're in an area that freezes, you need to use an appropriate amount of antifreeze to protect your equipment. To that, we recommend between 1 and 2 ounces of purple ice per quart of coolant. So, I mean, a real quick and dirty set of numbers is if you had a 3-gallon system, that's 12 quarts, we would recommend between 1 and 2 bottles. You will get additional benefit up to about that 2 times dose. Beyond that, you're not really getting any more benefit, and we don't recommend going beyond 2 ounces per quart. And if you are going to minimize your antifreeze ratio to try to optimize cooling, you are going to want to go towards that higher concentration of purple ice because of the additional corrosion protection it offers.
Thank you, Chris. Does that help you, Eric?
Yes, thank you, Bobby.
Thank
appreciate
you.
It.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Show.
Thank you. I appreciate your confidence and your kind words. Folks, every Saturday from 10 to noon Eastern Time, we're right here in the center of the automotive universe. If you have questions from bumper to bumper, I'm your man. Just consider me your personal car consultant. And speaking of car consultants, the consultant with us, Leah Harrington. Leah, give us a 30,000-foot view. How did you come to Royal Purple or vice versa?
Absolutely. Well, I'm very new to Royal Purple, and I am so excited to be here. And one of the reasons I'm excited is because when I'm looking at what I do in marketing, I want to work for a company that has products that absolutely underpromise and overdeliver. And that's something that I know that Royal Purple absolutely does. So many of the products that we have go beyond what we actually say it does. And the reason, that I know that is because of what I see out there in the social universe. Certainly I've done my homework, and you don't have to be a motorhead to know what the product does. Just go out there and look at what people say. And it was so fun for me, Chris. I know last week being in Las Vegas at SEMA, I had many people come up, and I would say, hey, I'm new to the Royal Purple family. And they would openly and proactively share with me their stories about one that was really exciting. The second piece is that Royal Purple is part of this larger family, the Calumet Specialty Products. And for those of you that don't know about Calumet, it's a company that absolutely makes some of the best technology in our industry. And when I say our industry, it goes across not just motor oils, but also into food, into the food industry, cosmetic industries, all these different industries. And when you look at those other industries, you have to have the purest ingredients. Our refineries can make high quality, extremely pure food grade, cosmetic grade type ingredients. And that's a competitive advantage for Royal Purple, to be associated with a company like Calumet that is so dedicated to making some of the best ingredients around.
So the same company that makes the oil that goes in your engine and protects your engine also makes the approved products that go on your face.
So topical, when you think about topical now, that's all regulated, and you've got to have safety, you've got to have quality. It's topical, and then when you think about food, ingestible. So, and I don't want people thinking, oh, I'm eating motor oil. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the refining process. It's that process has to be so meticulous. And that's exciting that Royal Purple can tap into not only the great bench strength that we have with all the wonderful people like Chris and Butch on our team, but having access to the other side of how the product is actually made is exciting to me.
It is, and it should be to everyone else. Thanks for sharing that. I'd like to go to Kansas now and take a call from John. John, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thank you for holding, and I see that Bob and Captain Jim, folks, thank you for holding as well. And I invite your calls at 888-227-2546. John, what can we do for you today?
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I have a Kenworth and with a cat engine in it, and I'm running the 1540, and at 30,000 miles I've been changing the oil and getting a oil sample from Royal Purple, and they're saying that the oil is still good to go. So my question is, how do I determine what longevity is left in the oil? Do I need to talk to the sample people about that, or how do I go about that?
Well, John, if you're already talking to us, you've probably spoken to me or Jim, who works for me in the automotive tech department. And we'd be certainly happy to go over the analysis reports with you. There's a couple of things you look at. You want to look at TBN, what's called the base number. Basically, that gives you an indication of the oil's ability to neutralize acids that are generated because of operation. You're also going to be looking at the viscosity to make sure it's still staying close to where it needs to be. And oil can become diluted by water or unburned fuel, in which case you're going to lose viscosity. Or in the case of diesel engines, you can have a buildup of soot, which is going to increase the viscosity. Oxidation or damage to the oil just because of use is also going to increase the viscosity. But those are the big things. Make sure that the viscosity is about where it should be. The TBN or the base number is, it's going to deplete over time, but that it's still got enough ability to neutralize. And then there's a couple other things that you can look at that's a little bit more complicated than is probably best to discuss on the radio. But again, if you're already in contact with us, we'd be happy to go over those reports with you.
Any questions, John?
No, that's right. I'm buying the oil in a 55-gallon drum and changing it myself. And at 30,000 miles, it puts your oil at a comparable price with what you can buy off conventional oils off the store shelf. So anything above that's going to be savings for me as a truck owner.
Absolutely. And if you go the extra mile and install a bypass filter that's going to help remove more of that soot, you're going to get even more life out of the oil. I mean, I've personally spoken to over-the-road guys that are going 50 or 60,000 miles, with the periodic filter change and top-off. And, they got that bypass filtration system that's pulling soot out of the oil, and they're watching their oil analysis reports to make sure that they're on top of when the oil needs to be changed.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, John. Those are strange numbers to me because I'm a car guy, and I hear 30,000 miles and so forth. You folks who are tuned in, we are talking about diesel trucks here, and we're talking about farm equipment. We're not talking about your average grocery getter automobile. So I want to be be about that.
Exactly. These pieces of equipment carry 5 gallons of oil rather than 5
quarts of oil. Let's jump out to Las Vegas. Captain Jim in Las Vegas, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, no problem, Bobby. And I'd like to thank Royal Purple for also sponsoring the Silver Bowl here again this year in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Thank you,
that's
Captain
very
Jim.
exciting.
Yeah. So, and absolutely, I can talk a little bit about that.
Please do. And do you have, in the interest of time here, if you have a question, Captain Jim, if you would ask that question, and then Leah, I would love for you to share the upcoming bowl and that exciting information. So, Captain, what is your question? And Chris will take that as we go along.
Okay, I'd like to ask about MaxTan, your diesel send.
Yeah, sir.
And how will it work in a marine environment? When I say that, it's marine diesel engines will run long periods of time. Sometimes we'll run them for a week without shutting them down because most of those diesel engines can be checked on the fly. The oil levels can be checked on the fly. How will that affect an engine that's under load constantly? Is it usable in that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the MaxTan product is going to improve the performance and quality of the fuel no matter what diesel engine you use. So you're going to get, the cetane boost, which is going to help the fuel combust better in the engine. You're going to get the anti-gel, which in a marine application isn't as big a deal because it can only get so cold before you're no longer boating, you're sledding. But you're also going to get some fuel conditioning properties. It's going to help stabilize the fuel. Even though you're running long times, I'm sure your fuel capacity is large. So with residence time of fuel, it can start oxidizing, especially any kind of contaminants that get in there. And our MaxTane is going to help stabilize the fuel for that. It also helps prevent bacterial growth. So if you have an off-site storage or large capacity on the boat, it's going to help keep the fuel in good condition. Now, no additive is going to reverse a fuel that's already started going downhill, but an additive like ours is going to help prevent that.
That is great. I'd like to shift gears now, and Leah, if you would, let's talk about, as Captain Jim mentioned, the Las Vegas Bowl. Well, now it's not the Las Vegas Bowl. It's the Las Vegas Royal Purple
That's right.
Bowl.
It is the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl, and it's going to happen on December 20th, and I think that's one that's very key because that's before all the bowl games, and this year's going to be interesting with all the playoffs. You know, this is a new year. So December 20th is our Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl. You'll want to tune in on ABC, check your local listings. I'm so excited. You know I love me some college football, and it's a great time. We're going to be out there. We're going to have a lot of fun, and you can get a part of the action. And one way you can do that is to go to Royal Purple LVB Las Vegas Bowl. So it's Royal Purple LVB Challenge. You can go in daily and enter for a chance. We're going to give away 5 all-expense-paid trips to Las Vegas to attend the bowl, hang out with us and the Royal Purple gang. We also, and I know that Butch was really jealous. I know that Butch and Chris are really jealous, but one of these lucky winners is going to get a brand new 2015 Subaru WRX CTI. And I know, Chris, I know you love that car, right?
Yeah, it's really nice.
So Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl, December 20th. We are extremely excited to have some fun.
So to enter to win, go to Royal Purple
LVB Challenge.com. So it's the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl Challenge Sweepstakes going on between now and November 30th. So it closes November 30th. You can enter in every single day to increase your chances of winning.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's the first hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic and the Royal Purple co-host. I hope that we were able to shed some light on your oil questions. Another exciting hour coming up. Leah and Butch and Chris, thank you for joining me from the center of the automotive universe. So stick around at the top of the hour, and we're going to be back. Don't touch that dial. I'm Bobby Likis. Likis, you'll love us.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
Fortune 500 companies choose Royal Purple lubricants and improve the performance of their multi-million-dollar equipment. The same high-performance technology is also available for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Royal Purple enhances performance and provides superior protection for anything wrapped in metal. Royal Purple is the performance oil that outperforms. For independent tests and endorsements that document Royal Purple benefits, go to royalpurple.com. That's royalpurple.com.
I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. The corn as food versus fuel duel is emotional, not factual. Fact is that ethanol is produced from field corn for livestock, not sweet corn for humans. And ethanol production from field corn utilizes only the starch. Vitamins, protein, and fiber are sold as livestock feed. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. Brought to you by the Renewable Fuels Association.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
We secretly sprayed Febreze all over fabrics in this Milwaukee home to see if the family notices how fresh it leaves their whole house. Ooh, here they come. Let's hide.
The door's unlocked.
Smells great in here. What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. Are the windows open?
Febreze eliminates stale odors and stuffiness so your whole house feels fresh air clean.
This is nice.
Someone's behind the curtains.
Febreze, the more you use it, the more you love it.
Hey, Todd. Where's our sub? Oh, Samantha. I've already given my sub to Sally. What? Sally? Hey, Samantha. How could you? I got a phone call. Todd. This is Todd.
Get your own steak and bacon melt with mountains of juicy steak and melty cheese. Subway Steak Melts. Subway, eat fresh.
In a movie, you have one chance to make something happen and to happen right. Bring it bigger, better than it's been seen before. I've been a working stuntman for 25 years now. Definitely not about glory or showing off. It's about making the impossible possible. I'm third generation in the business with my grandfather. Then my dad got involved in it. I've been in 115 movies. Period movies are awesome. Last of the Mohicans was a great adventure with my family, with my dad and brothers. There's those crazy-ass blockbusters that everybody loves to be on, where it's just over the top, to the moon, you know, bigger than life. Funnest movies, for sure, would be Waterworld. 50 of my best stunt buddies in Hawaii, wrecking stuff every day on the water. Obviously, car work is the ultimate. The whole goal with Need for Speed was to go as fast as we can. On the movie set, there's generally probably 150 to 200 people that are your working crew. You got to manage where everybody's at all times. Making sure we have communications dialed in between our assistant director, our players, our stunt personnel that are working around.
What do we need to do to extend this to
On Need for Speed, there was a huge car crash that we were going to do that was, kind of a turning point in the movie. Something that, you need to be going 200 miles an hour to do real. Our director wanted to, obviously he wanted everything to be done practical, but he felt that the look of this particular wreck that he could do might have to happen in a CG environment. Came up with an idea of pushing the vehicle sideways, profile, and hitting these huge pipe ramps. We can do this for real. He kind of said, really? All right, well, show me. I then, as the coordinator, said, okay, let's do this. I know we can do it. I know it's totally possible. Your raw skill is going to get you through it, but at a certain point, you're going to need that extra moment of practice to pull you through it consistently.
Okay, let's go ahead and start pulling this back, please. All right, Troy, here we go. I'm going to start pushing. So you set? Yeah, action, Troy.
I had all the confidence in the world. The director had it all the confidence in the world, and we came in and we nailed it. It was awesome. Lance Gilbert, stunt coordinator, action designer.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Count down to 1 minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Count down to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Count down to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And thank you, Marty White. Also, we've opened the easier number for you to remember is 888 Car Clinic. That's 888-227-2546. In the house today, having fun, enjoying the time together, and also enjoying your questions about your automobile. Butch Cox from Royal Purple, and also Chris Barker. And Chris is the Technical Services Director. Butch is the car guy. He's a Vice President of Royal Purple and Calumet, and anything to do with auto. His eyes start to absolutely go wide open, and he drives one of the cars that you have is a Buick Grand National. We'll talk about that a little bit later because that car just was part of a chosen at SEMA. Is that correct?
That is correct. It was chosen to compete in the Optima Ultimate Street Challenge.
We'll hear about that when we come back from the break. This segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you by Stant Corporation, bringing original equipment expertise to quality aftermarket products like fuel caps, radiator caps, and thermostats. For more information, visit stant.com. Also, we are brought to you, I'm proud to say, by O'Reilly Auto Parts. And when your battery loses power, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a Super Start battery. That's an exact fit for your vehicle. O'Reilly Auto Parts, reliable, hard-working Super Start battery that you can count on. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Your calls at 888 Car Clinic when we come back.
O'Reilly. If it's hard to stop and grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake from trusted brands like Brake Best Select, and Wagner Thermo Quiet at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brake parts from O'Reilly. Better parts, better prices every day. O'Reilly
Auto Parts.
Katy Perry may sing about hot and cold, but fluctuating temperatures in your vehicle's engine is a serious matter. Running too cool beats up oil, which can shorten its life cycle. Running too hot can lead to an increased load on and subsequent breakdowns. Or worse, your engine could physically shut down, dump coolant, and damage the engine. Stant is a leader in vehicle thermostats and proud makers of the SuperStat. Conventional thermostats continually open and close to achieve proper operating temperature. This floods the engine with coolant. The Stant SuperStat thermostat has a unique V-notch, non-linear design that reduces cycling by precisely metering the amount of coolant needed to maintain proper operating. Stant's SuperStat features a heavier gauge stainless steel housing, and the SuperStat's heavy-duty springs help return it to a closed position to prevent cold running. Pick one up, and you'll feel the difference compared to other thermostats. Stant SuperStat thermostats come with a limited lifetime warranty. Learn more at stant.com or find them on Facebook.
If your car's air conditioning isn't blowing cold air, it isn't, then you need an AC Pro. Is there one around here? Yeah. You. Me? But I can't. New do-it-yourself AC Pro is the 10-minute cold air solution. It's fast, easy, and saves you money. With AC Pro, you'll have cold air blowing again in just minutes. Wow, it's freezing in here, and I did it myself. See? You are an AC Pro. Yes, I am. New AC Pro, the 10-minute do-it-yourself auto AC cold air solution.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
You, my friend, have connections in the government. Yes, you. USA.gov, the official source for government information on thousands of topics. And like any good connection, there's no telling where it can take you. Why, one day you're getting student loan information. Next thing you know, you need job hunting tips. Today's road construction info could have you searching for telecommuting ideas tomorrow. The more you use USA.gov, the more uses you'll find for it. Passport applications, for example. They've been known to lead to a sudden interest in travel advisories. Our new mobile apps will even update you on the go. So whether you have information to get or ideas to give your government, check out USA.gov. Who knows? Lottery results today could lead to tomorrow. USA.gov. With the right connections, there's no telling where you can go.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And I would like to welcome you to this hour of, in this edition of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. It's a special Saturday for us. And just remember that these shows are archived for your convenience. And you can go to iTunes and just simply subscribe to Bobby Likis Car Clinic, and it will automatically download, and you'll have us on your iPhone, your iPad. And Tony, there are many, many ways that this program can be heard, and many, many formats, and that's what I enjoy most about, as you know, folks, if you've listened to me through the years, the technology. And so today's technology not only provides for us a way to reach you in different formats and platforms, which you reach us as well. And I have email questions, Twitter and Facebook, and I'm going to have one specific one that I'm going to ask in a minute and answer. And also I see that Stan and Cliff are in the queue. I would invite you to call early. With us in the house, Butch Cox, as I mentioned early on, and also Chris Barker. And Chris is the technical director. So if you have and it doesn't have to be a chemistry question, it's just a simple matter of, what do I do to add life to my automobile? And that's really what it's all about, because it's your nickel. And I will say this, if you drive the new off your automobile, and this comes from a service person for 43 years, if you drive the new off the car, you must put some new back on the car. Just remember, well, I put tires on the car, and I've got 150,000 miles, never had it in the shop. Really? And that's what oil changes do. Their inspection times at 7,000 or at 10,000 miles. I prefer the 5 to 7,500. And I want to quickly answer this one question. John P., this is a Twitter question, says, do additives that claim to reduce oil leaks by swelling seals really work? And the answer to that question, John, is yes, they do. Here's the challenge. What is used in that oil is naphthenic oil, and naphtha is a solvent. And if you put rubber in a solvent, it will swell the rubber. The challenge is how much swelling is enough and how much is too much. In an automatic transmission, if you use a stop leak, it will swell the seal so much that when the clutch applies, it would stick. So it would automatically destroy the transmission. So the secret is the product and the brand, because all that you really need is about 10 to 12% of the resiliency returned to the rubber, and that's what the better brands of stop leaks do. So the answer is it depends, but definitely there are additives on the market, and then there are other additives that aren't. Before we go to the phones, and I see that the phones are lit up, Jack R., this is another email question. Jack R. says, does Royal Purple require the addition of ZDDP in order to in a 1968 Series 1.5 Jag XKE 4.2 liter open two-seater? That's a lot of information, Jack. What grade viscosity would you recommend? I'm currently using Castrol Classic 2050. Butch or Chris?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and jump in the first part.
Great.
The answer is you can, but we wish you wouldn't. A better choice is to use an appropriate oil. We, along with oil companies, are going to offer several different product lines, and they offer different chemistry and formulations to suit certain applications. Most oils you're going to find on the shelf at a parts store are going to carry a current API license that does restrict the amount of anti-wear additive that can be in the oil.
So can't, meaning the ZDDP part.
Correct.
Okay.
So what you're going to want to do is look for an oil that does not carry that current license. You're going to look for a performance that specifically addresses your needs there, and we offer several.
Yeah, the recommendation I would make is HPS, and I would add, I actually worked at Jaguar when I was first starting out as a technician many years ago. I still own a Jaguar. Fantastic cars. I mean, they're great fun to drive. I guess the one thing that you have to keep in mind is that if you start pouring additives into your oil, you've made the conscious decision that your oil's not getting the job done. So my thoughts are you just need to buy a better oil. That's the tack I've always taken, and that's how I ended up going to work for Royal Purple 12 years ago. I don't want to sound like a shaver commercial, but I used the oil before I went to work for them.
And to that end, I too did some thorough investigation when I started to choose a synthetic oil, because it wasn't just on the network side, but our 43-year automotive service. We answer questions and solve solutions every day in the trenches there in the shop. Let's go to the phones. Take a call from Stan, Ohio. Stan, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I am so thrilled that you guys are there. It occurred to me that I have a great debt. I'm a Formula One fan, and I love the fact that y'all sponsor Formula One. And are you with me?
Yes, yeah, we are. We are. You got you have everybody smiling. You got everybody's attention. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not often that I'm not talking, so you got the mic, Stan.
It occurred to me that I've developed a lot of superstition, or maybe it was knowledge that's now past, but I always put straight grade motor oil in my lawnmowers and air-cooled engines. And what I remember was that they said that the multigrade had viscosity index improvers, and those depreciated with temperature, and that I ought to be using. And I don't know if that's still true or not. And here I've got the folks that can tell me some better information, and I'll save the money on buying that expensive straight grade.
Exactly. What you have heard was true 30 to 40 years ago when multi-viscosity oils were first being introduced. The viscosity index improvers that you heard about, that is the type of additive that makes multi-viscosity oils possible, and they were not very robust. They were damaged easily and quickly, so it wasn't uncommon to end up with a straight 20 instead of a 10W30 you put in your car after 1,000 or 1,500 miles. It was dirty, it was oxidized, it was broken, and no longer the viscosity that you intended. That is not the case anymore. Unless you're purposefully looking for the lowest quality, cheapest oil you can find, you should not have a problem with a multi-viscosity oil if you're doing proper maintenance. If you massively overrun it, it's possible that you could break the additive, but in any kind of reasonable oil change interval, you should not damage the oil in a piece of equipment that's running properly. So for you, I would use a 5W30 or a 10W30. As I'm sure you're aware, most small engine and lawn equipment specifies some sort of 30 weight. And with the quality of current oils, especially premium oils, there's no good reason to not use a multi-viscosity oil.
So Chris, to that end, is it not true, and Stan, this is because there's so many people that have lawnmowers and are stuck on the 30 weight, is it not true that whether it's a 030 or 530 or 830, if there were such an animal, that at operating temperature they're all 30 weight oils? Is that not correct?
That is correct. If the last number is the same at operating temperature, they are that grade, 20, 30, 40, what have you. The first number with the W is the winter grade. The smaller that number, the better the oil flows before it gets to operating temperature. So a 5W30 is not necessarily lighter than a 10W30 with respect to operating temperature, but it does provide better lubrication until you get to that point.
You got it?
That's great information,
It is.
and I had just suspected that my information had become outdated. Now, Bobby, you talked about having fixed your transmission notchiness. Well, you know that I have a Miata, and I'm a little confused whether to put in Max Gear or Max ATF. You put in ATF, right?
No, I put in Synchromax. And Synchromax is an ATF.
It's ATF-like.
It's
based
ATF.
on
It looks like it. And so if you had two in a bowl here,
Right.
you'd be hard pressed to determine. But in the big scheme of things, Stan, I was really surprised because literally, and I'm a big downshift guy because it's fun.
Right.
And my transmission and my Viper will zip right into second gear at 40 miles an hour, and that's a lot of speed up for gears to match. And without getting into the technical side, a Miata, and by the way, Miata just celebrated their 900,000th automobile and the #1 car, Roadster, #1 selling car in 25 years.
Right, 25-year anniversary of the Miata.
In fact, they sent me a convertible to drive for a week, and I was totally impressed with it. But that's neither here nor there.
Awesome.
But the bottom line, Stan, Synchromax, is that what you'd recommend for his transmission?
No, I would recommend Max Gear 75 W90.
Really?
The original factory recommendation, especially for the first and second gen, was an 80 W90 typically, and then it was upgraded to a 75 W90. As long as the transmission's in good shape, you're going to get good shift characteristics out of that. If this was a track-only car, we might, again, like I mentioned, we might change the viscosity recommendations depending on the use. But for a typically street-driven car, the 75 W90 is going to be our first choice for that, unless you're already having shifting issues. In which case, we could discuss that if you contacted us.
Okay. So Stan, thank you so much for your call and for your kind words. Really appreciate your loyalty. We'll take another call after we come back from the break. I do have a question here, and this is a sort of a loaded question, but aren't they all? Kurt H., and this is from Facebook, of Oregon, asks, if one mixes equal amounts, and you're smiling already on this, Chris and Butch, if one mixes equal amounts of 0.20 with 10.30, would the result be 5.25? Now, folks, what is this? Will they mix? Will the oils mix, assuming they are the same brand, such as Royal Purple? And when we come back from the break, we're going to share with you the rest of that story and the facts about mixing and matching engine oils. So don't go away. Watch BobbyLive.com. I'm Bobby Likis with Butch and Chris. I'll be back. Mailbag is brought to you by K&N, the world's best air filter. Vinny in Philadelphia writes,
Bobby, I've decided to build a hot rod and actually came across one that the owner started and is selling before he completed it. The motor's already in it, a 350 Chevy 4-barrel carb. It just needs gas lines connected and dress-up accessories. Where's the best place to start?
Vinny, great winter project. First stop should be knfilters.com. Not only for K&N cool custom air cleaner assemblies and other accessories, but K&N also has a billet oil filter, a complete line of external electric fuel pumps, and Trek fuel filters. Finding the right air filter is a combination of looks, eye candy for cruise nights, and fit. Does the hood clear the air filter and housing? But most important, if you use a K&N air filter, you can be assured your hot rod will benefit from all the great features K&N filters bring under your hood. Vinny, for a great place to start your new project, check out knfilters.com.
Fortune 500 companies choose Royal to protect and improve the performance of their multi-million-dollar equipment. The same high-performance technology is also available for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Royal Purple enhances performance and provides superior protection for anything. Royal Purple is the performance oil that outperforms. For independent tests and endorsements that document Royal Purple benefits, go to royalpurple.com. That's royalpurple.com.
How can you improve battery performance? Make sure your next battery has Power Frame Grid technology, a more advanced kind of positive grid technology that's designed to combat the common causes of premature battery failure. Power Frame Grid technology is formed from a single sheet of precisely rolled and stamped metal. This patented manufacturing process makes the battery more resistant to corrosion. Look for the Power Frame logo on the outside of your next battery. It means true strength on the inside. Visit powerframe.com to find a retailer near you.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
I'm your tailgate grill. Your buddy was in such a rush to get into the game, he didn't quite put me out. I see you bought the industrial-sized bottle of lighter fluid. Smart. And if you got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get an Allstate agent and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And folks, welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thank you so much for tuning in today and for sharing your time. And just remember, from 10 till noon Eastern Time at Watch Bobby Live from anywhere on the you may catch this program, and it's recorded. It's on our website as well. And I invite you to get social with me at facebook.com/Bobby Likis. That's Likis. Twitter, Pinterest, and new is Bobby Likis at Instagram. Appreciate about and Tony, thank you so much. Tony Gregory is our producer.
You're welcome.
You do a great job. We are through the auspices of Google and YouTube now HD, so that you can literally add me on your Google, and straight from your YouTube channel you go to YouTube, Bobby Likis, and you can stop the program and rewind it and listen to the end of an answer if you didn't quite get that answer. So there's ways that you, and last but not least, you can enter our sweepstakes, and I want to share this with you. It's the only time I'll have the opportunity. Fall into free fuel sweepstakes, because we're going to be giving away a royal purple leather lambskin jacket, which I have one, a $250 Visa card, Fuels Association, a Passport Max radar detector, my favorite. It's unbelievably sensitive and works so fantastically, from Escort, and then a $500 gas card from yours truly. All you have to do to enter is go to carclinicsweepstakes.com. Carclinicsweepstakes.com. Back to our question, and then we're going to go right to the phones, and I'll guarantee you we're going to put you on the air. Kurt H. from Oregon through Facebook says, if we take 020 and 030 oils, even with Royal Purple brand, and mix them together, do we have 25 viscosity oil?
That's a great question, Chris.
Yeah, he asked about 0W20 and mixing it with 10W30.
Okay.
The short answer is no, it will not result in a 5W25. The longer answer is there's no such thing as a 25. Those last numbers represent a range, and 20 butts up to 30, and that butts up to 40, so there is no 25. And oil viscosity grades are not additive. The numbers used in SAE grades are kind of arbitrary to a certain extent. So arithmetically, mixing different amounts of the oil will not result in something simple like that. Mixing the same brand and the same product line is okay. Let's say you've got a little bit of 5W30 left over and you're switching to 10W40 or down to 5W20, that's okay. It's always best to try to stay with the same oil, though, best practice, because the oil is designed to work as formulated. And, we discourage playing chemistry in your crankcase.
But, I'd like to point out from a sales standpoint, if a customer's using Royal Purple and their vehicle API 5W20, and they go into an auto parts store and they can't find our particular 520 or our product, they're perfectly fine putting in another brand of 5W20 as long as that's an API of the same viscosity and the same weight. We like everybody to not mix their oil as oil companies, because we have proprietary chemistry, but part of that is that it all works together, so that they're not going to have a warranty issue or an oil issue with their vehicle.
So if I'm out on the road and I'm a quart low of oil, I don't have to find or worry about finding the nearest store to add a quart of X brand purple. You can mix oils. It's not something you would do as a rule, but when you're on the road, there's no damage that would occur. Right. Okay.
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
Let's go to New Mexico. Cliff, thank you for holding, and folks, thank you all for holding. Cliff from New Mexico, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Well, thank you, Bobby. What I was going to ask you guys, because you guys would know this somehow, I've owned 7 or 8 brand new Nissans, We've been, fan of Nissans for years. They've been great vehicles. They've been reliable. I never had any engine failures at all. And I'm a blind mechanic myself. I just graduated from college last year to the U.S. to graduate with a college automotive degree in the U.S. and in the world already. The media has investigated all that, and it's been really great that they've, enjoyed it. But I do work on cars, and I do oil changes. But on the Nissans, I've noticed on every one of my new Nissans, they all have called a settle loud lifter. And now the Hondas and Toyotas on the 4-cylinders don't seem to have it, and some of their 6s. But we've owned 4-cylinders and 6s, and some of them have that. And I've taken it back to the dealer, and I'll ask them, hey, check the scanner and see if it's got any lifter issues, because I need to know. But I talked to a guy, and he said, well, it's the way they designed it, but if you do maybe an oil change in several thousands of miles down the road, like a Mobil 1 or something, it may calm that noise down. Well, we tried it. It calmed it down some, but not a lot. When it's cold, you can really hear it. But it's just the way Nissan designs their engine, that they design it to have a distinctive sound that other ones just don't have. And I've noticed that through the years of owning quite a few new Nissans. But I'm getting ready to do an oil change here next week myself on my own car and change out a serpentine belt that needs to be changed. And I need to know is Royal Purple a reasonable price with Mobil 1? And 2, can it calm down those valve lifter noises? Because I'm a blind guy, so like I said, I hear everything in a vehicle, and it really annoys me to hear an engine tap like that. But they say design, and there's not a lot I could do unless I change the oil and see if I could calm the sound down a little bit.
And Cliff, one question from you, and then Butch or Chris take the question. Where do you live in New Mexico?
I live in Alamogordo.
White Sands,
Butch, So Butch Cox actually,
I grew up in a military family. That's how I started out driving Jaguars and British cars, learning to drive in Great Britain. And my wife and I actually met in Albuquerque. And we truly love New Mexico. We live in Texas now, but we're definitely from New Mexico. Going on to your lifter noise, the one thing that I would point out is that you're going to have a lot of fuel injection noise. Some of what the tapping that you're hearing, especially when it's cold, the panels inside the injectors making noise. And then also I would add on the lifters that they build them a lot looser now. When I worked at Jaguar, which is also Malloy Datsun there in Albuquerque many years ago, it was before they were called Nissan, and they built them a lot tighter back then, and they found that if you can loosen the motor up a little bit internally, it builds more horsepower. That came from racing, and of course that increases your fuel economy. So with the proper hardness of the steel, that valve clearance may not be an issue for you.
So that noise is a non-issue. But Cliff, in my opinion, of course, I would upgrade to Royal Purple regardless, because the baseline, from what I understand, of most synthetic oils, the top line of most synthetic oils is the baseline for Royal Purple and a Centerlink technology additive package, and that's where the real rubber meets the road. Because most oils, and Chris, you correct me if I'm wrong, the base of 18 to 25% of the oil is the additive package. The rest with synthetic oil starts with same size molecules. Is that correct?
It's similar. When you're talking about synthetic base stocks, you've got a couple of different choices, and most formulators are going to use more than one base stock to try to maximize advantages and minimize disadvantages of each of these base stocks. But in an engine oil, which is typically about the most highly additized lubricant, at between 15 to 25% additive content.
So that additive package, that's the real Centerlink technology. Right. That's where the rubber meets the road, or where the metal doesn't touch the metal. Cliff, thank you so much for your call, and hats off to you on your all of your awards. And I don't know how you do what you do, but I applaud you for it.
Well, thank you, Bobby. It's great to listen to your show and these guys, and great to know about Royal Purple. I have told people about it, and now I'm going to start using it to see what it'll do for my vehicle, and go from there.
Good, and I'll expect to hear back from you on a future show.
Thanks, Cliff.
Let's from New Mexico to New York. Jim, thank you for holding. I see that Michael and Tom and Donna will come to you folks soon. And if you'd like to get in, 227-2546, 888 Car Clinic. Jim from New York, glad to have you join us on Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, don't laugh sitting there in Florida, but I would like to know if Royal Purple makes a two-cycle oil for a snowblower.
We absolutely do. We got a product called HP2C. If it's a premix, you're going to be able to use that no matter where you are. And forgive me, I'm not super familiar with snowblowers because I live in a climate much like here in Pensacola. I don't see snow ever. But if it's a premix, our HP2C is going to be the best choice for you. If it is an oil-injected engine, like a lot of current two-cycles, then we would recommend our Snow 2C oil. The primary difference between the two is the Snow 2C is going to have better cold flow, meaning you're going to have less likelihood of gelling up inside the lines on the way from the oil tank to the mixer, and you're going to maintain adequate lubrication.
And online, Chris, can he go online and find more information specific to that particular application?
Absolutely. If you went to royalpurpleconsumer.com, I believe information on the two-cycle oils will be under motorcycle ATV or possibly other products. But either way, we've got good descriptions and physical characteristics of all of our products listed online.
And if Jim has a question, as it were, he can reach out to corporate, to Royal Purple, and reach out to you?
Absolutely. Also online, we have contact information. The Royal Purple Tech Department is available Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Central Time. So you can either call us or you can send us an email, and all that information is online. And in fact, a lot of that information is also on all of our packaging.
And Jim, that's for me, having been in the service business for 43 years and the broadcast business for 23 years, what's important is that you'll have questions, and folks, each of you will have questions that you say, well, I wish I had called in or what have you. You can go to royalpurpleconsumer.com and get those questions. But what's equally important, if not more important, is you can call this corporation and talk to a real person.
Absolutely.
It's not, if you know your party's extension, you get on what we call terminal hold. And this gentleman will take your calls. And there's another company, K&N, that does the same thing, and that's Rich Dwyer. We all know Rich, and he's been on the air with us many times, and he takes calls from across the nation as well. So those are separates the differences between larger multi-layered corporations and having I don't know, friends in high places. No, but people that are responsive and caring, and that's where my hot button comes from.
Yeah, and Jim, it was 36 degrees according to my rental car this morning. So we might be in the automotive center of the universe, but it was cold.
So Jim, you may have sent us some of your weather from. What's the temperature in New York, if I may ask?
Right now, I'm looking out in the sun. It's about 35, between 35 and 40.
Pretty close.
Well, the good news is we share equal temps. The better news is that we're on the way up, and tomorrow you're going to be on the other way. Hey, thank you so much for your call, and folks, we're going to come back, and with us, Leah Harrington's going to join us from Calumet, Royal Purple. Butch, great to have you with us today in the broadcast booth.
Fortune 500 companies choose Royal Purple lubricants to protect and improve the performance of their multi-million-dollar equipment. The same high-performance technology is also available for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or ATV. Royal Purple enhances performance and provides superior protection for anything wrapped in metal. Royal Purple is the performance oil that outperforms. For independent tests and endorsements that document Royal Purple benefits, go to royalpurple.com. That's royalpurple.com.
I'm Bobby Likis with today's Drive Smarter tip, brought to you by Escort, the world's best radar and laser detectors. Running red lights is the cause of more injuries than any other crash type. Protect yourself from those red light runners by looking to the left, then to the right, and then for turning vehicles before you enter traffic light controlled intersections. Visit escortradar.com to learn about the all-new Passport and Passport Max 2, both featuring built-in Bluetooth connectivity. Don't just drive, drive smarter. Escort.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
This is Willie Works.
Hello.
Back to answer all your laundry questions, like how to get out those tough embedded odors.
Like when your husband comes back from the plant. Woo, smelling like he brought the whole place home.
Or when one of the cows escapes and you to the ground.
Uh-huh.
What?
I think that's a good one.
They're all good ones. And I have the solution. Febreze for the wash.
Oh.
Just add a capful with your detergent and odors disappear.
Wow, one capful is all it takes?
Yep, Febreze for the wash. One cap, one wash.
And say goodbye to odor.
Another great place to use Visa.
Your heart pounds. Your body sweats. Whatever you do, don't look down. Okay, you can look. Because this is the Boulder Rock Club, the largest indoor climbing club in Colorado, where 10,000 square feet of scalable walls give you all the thrills of a Rocky Mountain climb. So bring your sense of adventure and your Visa card, because the Boulder Rock Club will take you to the top, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
We're a land of cynics. We don't believe anything anymore. You know why? Because we've been told we've won $1 million, that it's new and improved. Dices, that our favorite singer is still alive, that we'll be prosecuted if we cut off the... And of course that everything is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So when we hear the words customer service, we don't believe it. Travelocity isn't surprised if you're a little skeptical when they say they have excellent customer service, and that there's actually a pleasant face behind a living, breathing person with a supercharged computer full of answers. Someone who's willing to help when you get lost, and most of all, someone that will actually pick up a call with a question or a concern. Customer service is just another example of how Travelocity puts you in control of travel. Chances are you'll never have to use it, but it's good to know it'll be there if you need it. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your hosts, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back. Let's get started with this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. In the house with me is Leah Harrington, Vice President of Calumet Specialty Products. Leah, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
I truly am excited to have you in the house. And Chris he's joined us a couple of 3 times before. And Chris, a great job that you are doing today, and Butch Cox as well, because you know what our job is, and folks, you know this, those of you who are watching and listening and all different platforms, you know, we're not here to fix your car. We're here to give you information that empowers you so that you'll make the educated decision tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And are we promoting Royal Purple? Absolutely, because I use it in my shop, and we have some 4,000 plus customer base, and 59% of all of our oil changes are Royal Purple synthetic. And Butch alluded to the cost of synthetic versus conventional oil. And it hasn't been that long ago, it was 5 to 1. So a quart of oil was $1.50 or $1.10, and synthetic was 5 or 6 or 7. Now it's 2 to 1. Mm-hmm. And when you think of the cost of, and that's where I really come in, the cost of repairs to an engine, and the fact that you can drive a vehicle 200,000-300,000 miles today if you provide that car, as I said before, if you drive the new off the car, you have to put new back on it, and you have to get the oil change as part of, that's not the entire vehicle, the engine, there's more to it than the engine. Let me do this. I want to reach out to Rochester, New York, WACK 1420 AM, John Tickner and Dick Reeves, General Manager and Program Director. A special shout out to you folks there. If that's your neck of the woods, let me hear from you at 888 Car Clinic, WACK 1420 AM, Rochester, New York, 888-227-2546. Let's take a quick call from Donna, who is very patient. Donna, thank you. I appreciate your patience. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Hello, Bobby.
Hello.
Hi. I just have really a quick question, but I'd like to give a shout out to Leah. It's nice to see a female executive in a typical male industry. So I love to see that.
Well, thank you very much, Donna. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's right. Girl power, right?
That's right. That's right. My quick question is, my daughter lives here in Florida, and she's getting ready to move to New York. And she has a Mazda 3 that she's had for about 5 years, and has taken good care of it because her daddy always insists on, changing your oil frequently. But now that she's moving from a hot climate to a cold climate, what does she need to do? Does she need to change up anything in getting it prepared to go to New York?
I'm going to jump in here.
Please.
This is an easy question, but it's a good one that you ask because a lot of people don't know. Mazda's used a 5W20 for almost all their gasoline engines for the past 5, 6, 7 years. And that oil has excellent cold flow. Because it's a multi-viscosity oil, it's going to offer great cold flow as well as maintaining appropriate viscosity when it's up to operating temperature. So there's absolutely no change that needs to be made. Just continue using the viscosity grade that's mentioned in the owner's manual, which again should be a 5W20, and going to get great performance out of a quality product.
And Donna, to that end, there are a couple things that I would share with you. For every 10 degrees drop in ambient temperature, the tires will lose 1 psi of pressure. So when you go from 80 degrees to 40 degrees, you're 4 psi down. And the TPMS, the tire pressure monitoring system, is triggered somewhere between 4 to 6 pounds, more toward the 6 than the 4. So literally, your daughter could leave Florida with 30 psi and proper inflated tires, and then it would drop 50 degrees, it'd be 25, and the tire pressure monitoring system might not illuminate. It depends. There's two different types, and I won't go into the technical aspect, but so tire pressure, ultimately, here's what I would do. Two things, and I would advise her. Number one, take her car to a local service provider and get what we call an annual inspection, a road check. And I hesitate to say road trip check, because that only means like normally checking the oil and filter and kicking the tires. We want to do more than that. We want to do like a pre-purchase vehicle inspection, which the technician will look at that car and say, I need to look at this car under, over, drive it, check the brakes, and what have you. That's to get her to where she's going safely. Then, once she gets to her destination, and Donna, make sure you write this down, ASA Shop. ASA is an Automotive Service Association, which I am a member for 30 plus years. It's a huge organization. It's a nonprofit. It is to the automotive service industry what, say, AMA is to the American Medical Association. So asashop.org, when she gets to her landing, her next little lily pad, she then can go and find a series of shops, and then she can make phone calls and see how they react to her as a potential customer, and how much time and energy they'll give her on the phone. And if they're nice enough to spend their time on the phone, then she can visit them, because she's going to need a certified service provider there, just like she does here. You got it?
I got it. Well, much of what you said is kind of Greek to me, because I'm not highly technical where automobiles are concerned. So probably the safest bet would just be to bring it into your shop prior to her leaving and let you all handle it, and then I won't have to worry about her.
That's correct, and I thank you for that. And also, when she gets to the north, when she moves, she goes to asashop.org and finds another car clinic or a similar facility. Thank you for your call.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And thank you for your comments with regard to Leah.
Yeah, thank you.
That's interesting. Give us just a 30,000-foot view of Leah Harrington and how you came to Calumet.
Absolutely. So I being in marketing for over 20 years, I always look for brands or products that absolutely underpromise and overdeliver. I want to work for the best of the best. And Royal Purple kind of fell into my lap one day, and as I got into it, I started to learn a lot more about this fantastic brand. And certainly being out there and looking at what others are saying on the social and media space, and seeing what the comments were about this brand, and then certainly attending the SEMA show last week and witnessing it firsthand, it is so powerful. And that's exciting for someone like me to get in and work with a brand that or a product line that is so fantastic, and it also coupled with loyalists and fans of the brand that have been using the product for years and years and years. And I'm sure, Chris, you could allude to this, and Butch and Bobby, and a lot goes to what you do right here, Bobby, and bringing these people in. So to me, that's exciting. The other piece is that Royal Purple is a part of a larger family, and that larger family provides quality, high quality, advanced technology products to other industries. So food grade, cosmetic grade ingredients. And when you're manufacturing products that you ingest or put on topical on your body, they have to be of the highest standard, they have to be quality, they have to be safe, and they're highly regulated. So the fact that Calumet already has those as their core competencies, and they know how to do that, that's a competitive advantage that Royal Purple has that probably the other companies don't. And in fact, I think we make some of the other products in the industry for some of these brands, and I won't go into any details there. But to me, how could I not want to come over here and work for such a wonderful company that is filled with lots of great people like yourselves?
Well, thank you for the kind words and for sharing that insight to us. And what I would like to do, maybe same time or latter part of next year, is to get you back after you certainly have both feet. But what you know about the automotive industry and the oil industry today, and what you will know a year from now will be as fast learner. I mean, what do you drive? You're a family?
That's right. So, I have 5 kids. I have triplets that are 12 and 8 3-year-old. So we are a full house. And when you're talking about saving money, you have to think about the opportunity cost too. Time is money. So when your car or your school bus, as I call it, is in the shop, that's not fun for the family to have to deal with. That's a pain. So there's more than just the financial cost that comes into play. So for all the moms out there and people have to juggle family and all the demands of that, your vehicle is pretty precious. I drive. I've driven a GMC Yukon XL. I've driven right now. I've got an Infiniti QX80, which I love. It's sporty, but yet I can still fit my 7 kids in there. And then at home I have a fun little go-kart that I showed you last night. I have a need for speed. So that's another piece I like Royal Purple is the high performance and going to the Global Rallycross races in Vegas last week. Man, I'm hooked. I love it.
And to that end, for those of you, for you shop owners, you technicians who are tuned in, and your car guys, that's from a female side, the understanding and a want to learn, and you dove in with both feet. So I think it's upon us to share that information, and we know that our industry needs to step up its game with regard to communication, and of that one word, communication, is what I love most about what we do at Car Clinic, because we communicate with our listeners and we communicate with people across the globe. And to that end, let's communicate right now to Michael in Oklahoma. Michael, thank you for holding. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Well, thank you, Bobby. It's been an enjoyable show today.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in. You have a question?
Yes, I do. I've been pretty amazed at Chris's knowledge with respect to applications. No matter what kind of car they have, or what engine, it seems like he knows right off the top of his head what's needed. And I'm wondering about when it comes time for me to change my tranny fluid. I have a 13 Dart with the 1.4 turbo and the dual dry clutch tranny. And looking at my manual, I noticed that the recommendation is the same as for the regular manual transmission, Mopar C635. Same as what you put in the manual, even though it's the dual dry clutch that shifts automatically. I'm wondering if Royal Purple makes something that I might want to upgrade to when it comes time for me to change that transmission fluid.
Absolutely. We got some great choices. Now, there is a slight possibility that we're not familiar enough with the OEM fluid, and because of that doubt, we might not recommend one of ours. We don't want anybody using a product that we don't feel is tested and tried and a good choice. But thank you for providing the fact that it's a dry clutch, because that does make the selection a little easier. If you got a wet clutch, dual clutch transmission, then you do have to worry about frictional characteristics to a great extent, because you're not only lubricating and protecting against wear, but you're allowing the clutches to work correctly. With the dry clutch, it's not as stringent an application. More than likely, Synchromax is going to be a great choice. Almost all of these dual clutch transmissions use a light viscosity fluid, which is really all that's required in these parallel shaft, helical or straight cut gears. What I would like you to do, by the way you phrase it, I'm assuming you've got a little bit of time before this happens. I would really suggest that you give us a call, contact us, or shoot us an email before you're ready to do this. That way we can verify whether or not what I've told you right here is going to be a good choice for you.
And how could he reach you, Chris, on email? And Michael, let us give you this email in the interest of time.
Okay.
How could he reach you on email?
To the automotive tech department.
Yes.
Yeah, you can either contact us through the webpage, royalpurpleconsumer.com. There's a contact us link, or you can go to rpautotech.com, or rpautotech at royalpurple.com. Excuse me. Sorry.
You'll find
so
it.
There's a couple ways to get in touch with us.
Okay.
We man the phones and the email Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Central. And you are going to speak to somebody if you call in or email us.
And, Michael, thank you so much for calling. Let's take a quick call from Tom. Tom, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thank you for holding.
Hello. Thank you very much for taking the call.
You're
I
welcome,
have
sir.
a Chevy Astrovan, about 140,000 plus miles. It's running a bit rough, and I'm thinking about trying a new fuel cleaner. Is there any difference in fuel cleaners? What would you all recommend?
Oh, absolutely there's a difference. I mean, to a great extent, you get what you pay for. Right now, we are the absolute best fuel system treatment with Royal Purple Max Clean. And like all of our chemicals, it's going to be best in class with its primary purpose. In this case, would be fuel injection, valve, combustion chamber cleaning. But we also give you the added benefits of fuel stabilization, dealing with water that's coming in with ethanol fuels nowadays, and just several things that's going to help the vehicle work better. I'm kind of talking fast because I want to know what engine you have in your Astrovan.
All I can tell you, it's 6-cylinder.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't recall specific.
The reason I ask is this particular vintage of vans, some of them came with kind of a unique fuel injection system. It was they call it a CPFI, a central port fuel injection. And what you had was you had a centralized block that actually had the fuel injectors located about where a carburetor would have been. And from here you had plastic tubes that went from the injectors in the centralized block to each cylinder. And there's little poppet valves in there that tended to get crudded up unless you used the absolute best fuel available.
So then, Chris, the Max Clean.
Max Clean is going to be the best choice for you.
And that's available on the shelves of all the parts stores.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto
Pep
Parts.
Boys, online.
Okay, online.
And that's designed for a one-tank cleanup. You should have no issues. If the fuel injector poppets are sticking in this type of vehicle, it's going to clean you out well. And we have a new product coming out called Max Atomizer, which is in the same family as Max Clean, but it's primarily a fuel injection cleaner and would be a good choice for maintenance every 3,000 to 4,000 miles.
There you go.
afterwards.
You heard it from the technical guru, Leah. And the length of time that we have in today's broadcast, tell us about the upcoming event.
Yep. So Royal Purple, we're the proud sponsor of the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl. It's going to be held December 20th. It'll air on ABC. Make sure you check your local listings. We are very excited because you can enter between now and November 30th each day for a chance to win 5 spots for an all-expense-paid trip to Las Vegas. And you're going to get a chance to throw a football for a chance to win a brand new 2015 Subaru WRX CTI, which I know is a sweet ride. But that's going to be exciting, and it's going to happen December 20th. Get your check out all the details on Royal Purple LVB. It stands for Las Vegas Bowl. Royal Purple LVB Challenge.com. That's where you enter daily.
Leah Harrington, Butch Cox, and Chris Barker, the Royal Purple, and Bobby Likis. Folks, thanks for tuning in, and thank you all for joining us here from the center of the automotive universe.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
This is Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. American ethanol producers are fully engaged in the race to the next generation. Since the ethanol molecule is identical across sourcing types, many existing ethanol biorefineries are exploring technology upgrades that will enable production of ethanol from a broader range of feedstocks. These bolt-on technologies will allow ethanol producers to increase volumes by converting both grain starch and cellulosic material into fuel at the same facility. Utilizing existing piping, storage, and loading infrastructures at current facilities may help lower the cost for the first commercial production of cellulosic and advanced ethanol. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol, brought to you by the Renewable Fuels Association. Drive to ethanolrfa.org.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Go ahead, hit me. Yeah, come on, in the face. I need to be prepared.
Oh, sending in the dogs.
Okay, bring it on. Oh, man. Oh, if I can handle this. Oh, I can handle 10 intruders. Oh.
Dude, just change the locks.
Yeah.
Hardware to find all kinds of home safety products. Everything from locks and keys to fire extinguishers and smoke detectors. Everyone deserves to feel safe. Look to your Ace Circular for special savings. Ace, the helpful hardware place.
Mom, see you later.
Jason? Who else is going to the concert with you?
Anna and Kyle.
So you'll be home...
At 11.
Good. Make sure to call me if anything comes up, okay?
You know I never forget.
I know you don't. Now, about that music.
Yeah, isn't it awesome?
Well...
Let your kids be who they are, but know what they're doing. Talk, know, ask. Parents, the anti-drug. For more information, call 1-800-788-2800. Sponsored by the ONDCP and the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.